Welcome to CKLU 96.7, your radio. I'm your host, Jess, with our second edition of Creator Conversations presented by Our Creator. If you've never checked out Our Creator, I highly suggest it. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat to see what we're up to, but also make sure you're up to date on our content by visiting www.ourcreator.com. That's OURCRATER.com. We're always hard at work putting together information to keep you, the social Siberian, informed. Community engagement is something our team truly believes in, and as such, we're always on the lookout for new organizations, events, and people we think you should know about. So make sure you follow us on social media to keep up to speed. Our guest this week is Alessandro Costantini. He's widely known as the founder of Yes Theatre, which has had great success with their summer musical productions. Their first production was Hair, and after that was such a big hit, they continued on with Rent in their second season. It has got even bigger and better from there. My personal favorite production of theirs has to be In the Heights, the hit musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda, whose name you might recognize from Hamilton. Their last three productions have been increasingly breaking records. Hairspray was probably the most fun our city has had in this theater in a long time, and their production of Billy Elliot in August added a week to its run, selling a total of 5,100 tickets. There's no slowing down for this company, and this year they'll be adding their very first Yes Theatre Orchestra performance of Beauty and the Beast at Glad Tidings. And for their 10-year anniversary, the company will be working on an entirely original musical capturing this experience of young people in the North. We'll be getting into more of that later, but one of the things I love the most about Alessandro is that he's so passionate about the arts in our community, and it's really contagious. He's working hard to make our community a respected center in the North, and we're all for it at Our Creator. We hope you'll stay tuned in to Creator Conversations while we talk to Alessandro about growing up in the North, becoming an artist, and the foundings of Yes Theatre. So we are live today in the CKLU studio with our second edition of Creator Conversations. Today we have our guest, Alessandro Costantini. It actually happens to be today his 25th birthday, so it's a very special day to have him in the studio. So welcome, Alessandro.
Thanks.
So Alessandro, a lot of people probably know you for your work with Yes Theatre, obviously. You're the artistic director. You've also starred in a number of the productions, directed, and all that kind of stuff. You're obviously heavily involved. So our latest production was Billy Elliot, and that really explores the story of somebody growing up in a mining town, obviously very similar to your situation, and learning about his artistic side and kind of embracing that and learning how to communicate that. So for yourself, obviously there's a really close connection to the story for you. So growing up here in a northern town, what was your experience kind of learning that you wanted to be an entertainer?
Well, it kind of just happened based on like a whole bunch of, little gentle pushes from like extraordinary moments, right? I think when I was a kid, I would sing and dance kind of in my room, and then my grandma was like, "Turn down the music." She's like, "Turn down the music, I want to hear you sing," And but I just would remember like Billy Elliot was such a opportunity for me to like reflect on my upbringing, right, and on my experience as a young person here, and I just would remember like we'd go on a school trip to the hockey rink to like skate, and all my buddies were like hockey players, and that was never something I ever did, and so there we'd be skating in the arena, and they'd have like the radio playing in the arena, and I'd kind of like just like take off by myself and like skate alone in circles.
Just be skating around in circles.
Just skating in circles,
out.
yeah. And I would always feel like I love this. But it's not because I want to play hockey. Like it's certainly not because I want to play hockey, right? That wasn't a thing that I cared about. And now looking back, I was like, the feeling I had in that room was because it was a theater. There was seats. Like it was the first time that I really was like, this is a space in which you could command and like. So that was kind of looking back now, that was kind of a really
realization, right?
Yeah, that I actually didn't realize at the time, but now
looking back,
the perspective,
you see the connection.
And I just think Billy Elliot is a story that I just felt deeply connected to all the characters and everything that it talks about, and the idea of that, like when you're from a town like ours, or essentially from a town where like that's not New York or LA, right? Where the opportunities aren't like gonna be knocking. Like to become something here is much more extraordinary than if you're like at a high school in LA, and all the students there are like children of famous
You really
people,
have to scrap for every opportunity.
Yeah, you
get.
do, and you don't, you just like, because I acknowledge that there's people in our community and other communities that are like incredibly gifted artists and will never get the opportunity to discover that because they will not have the supportive parent, or they will not have the
resources, they won't have the
music
outlet.
teacher, the drama teacher, the something, like the person to be like, hey, you're special, right? And it's kind of heartbreaking. And so yeah, Billy Elliot was just, it just kind of helped, I was able to like look back on my life and be like, right, I remember those moments of like looking at the stars and being like, something big is coming, or there's something I need to say and I need a place to say it, and not really knowing what any of that meant, and just having this be a feeling, right? And what's so great about Billy Elliot is that it is a moment, it's a story about this boy learning to articulate why he makes his art, right? And those are the stories I love telling about young people kind of figuring that out.
Well, for sure. So leading up to Yes Theater, you've obviously had lots of other experience. So what other projects would people maybe have known you for, or what projects were you working on prior?
Yeah, prior to Yes. So yeah, I started Yes when I was in my grade 12 year at St. Charles.
So this is year 8 that you just wrapped, right?
Yeah, so we're heading into season 9, yeah, which is kooky. And my mom actually, on my birthday cake, it was like the birthday cake said "Happy 25th birthday, Alessandro," and it was like theater curtains opened, and it was the Yes Theater logo in the middle. It was like so stagey, but it was really interesting to see
mom,
to
she's
see
the
like
best.
25 years of my life, and then the logo of the company, and knowing that like the company's been here for 9 of those years. Like that's a profound amount of time, right? But
That's a good percentage of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So before Yes, I had done 3 productions with Theatre Cambrian. Like when I was in elementary school, I had worked with the Sudbury Theatre Centre, and I was doing film and TV stuff. I did a couple episodes on a show on YTV called How to Be Indie, and then I was on a Family Channel series called Baxter. They were just little snippets of things, right? And then some films, and yeah, and then continuing my work as a vocalist around town and things like that, and then Yes happened.
Yeah,
and I wanted to do hair. I was really into the musical Hair.
So I've heard you tell this story before. Yeah. So Hair is basically where Yes Theater all started. So so how did this kind of all come about?
Yeah, so I was in grade 11, and at St. Charles we didn't really have. Time we didn't really have like a drama program, or like we certainly did. They were doing musicals and things, and there was wonderful teachers and people doing stuff, but Deandra Zafiris was kind of the person who was there, and she's still there now, but she kind of taught me how to produce. Like she kind of took me under the wing and was like, yeah, we had to book rights, and these are all these things that I didn't really know about, like, oh, you have to book rights for a musical, and like, what does that look like? And you go to these websites and you can see all these different musicals that are available, and I got really into it. So I kind of got this like really bug for producing, and they just did a Broadway revival of Hair, and the cast album came out, and I listened to it, and I was like, what is this? This is amazing! And I wanted to do Hair, but we went to Catholic high school, and it was about like drugs and hippies and sex and peace and love and all these things that like weren't really appropriate for high school students, let alone a Catholic high school. And I was like, let's just do it ourselves. Let's just do this ourselves. And I was in Italy with my best friend, and I was like just so drunk in the piazza in my mom's little hometown, and it was the festival of beer, and like we were in the piazza, and my friend Ashton was just like sitting down, and I just got up and started singing Let the Sun Shine. I was like, I am doing this musical next year, mark my words.
No matter what.
And then 1 year from then, there we were on the STC stage, and I was crying my face off, and it happened, and it was just a tremendous happening of events, and like a miracle, really. All of it was a miracle.
Man, so you just wanted to do this one show, and you're like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, just looking now at what the company's become, like, I had no idea.
You had no concept of
how I was like, I want to do Hair, it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
And little did I know that it would...
I'm just going to do this one-off play. I'm just going to put this show on.
Yeah, and now it's become my life's work. Like, you know, like training and working with young artists and giving people a voice and giving people opportunity, and not even artists, right? There's people who come into who audition for the company who like just need the experience, right? And they go off and they become leaders in whatever it is that they do, and they gain confidence, and when they work with us, they are professionals, you know? They do it. They're pros. I love them all.
You always speak very passionately about the arts in Sudbury, and obviously you're a huge proponent and a huge character in the community. And there's been a lot of controversy lately about the health of some of our arts organizations.
Yeah.
So what are maybe some things that Sudburyans can do to kind of really show that they're interested, they're engaged, and they're passionate about their arts community?
I think it's tricky, right? Because with all the things that are happening, I think it's very quick and easy for people to say like, oh look, like see the arts can't live, like, you know, theater is dying and this and that, which is simply false, right? Art is alive because people are alive, like, you know what I mean? Like, it will never die. It is whether or not people
will never stop having a reason to express themselves.
No, it is whether or not an audience is interested in a piece of work or not, right? And that is the difference, right? Like, Billy Elliot, for the last 3 years, we've gradually been breaking our box office records, right? We did Fiddler, then we did Hairspray. Fiddler was 3,500, Hairspray was 48, Billy was 5,100, right? So this has been a trajectory.
That's tickets sold?
Tickets sold, yeah.
Okay.
So this has been, like, we're growing, right? We've been selling out, so the theater is not dying. Pat the Dog, the Play Smelter workshop, that was new Northern Ontario plays, new plays that no one knew anything about, right? And they sold out. And the reason being is that when something is community engaged, like the theater back in the day, in ancient Greek times, was a communal event, right? And that's the approach that I take to my work, and that some of these other successful organizations do as well. The theater needs to be community engaged. It needs to interact with the people. It needs to be of the people and for the people and by the people, right? But the organizations that are struggling were mismanaged, and I think now have the proper people in place, and I hope that they are able to, put forward good work, and the people will come. You know what I mean? And that's what it is about. I also think it's important to that we use the proper vocabulary and the proper language when we're speaking about these issues, right? I read things on Facebook, people saying, Sudbury Theatre Centre is the only professional venue north of Barrie, and these are simply untrue facts, right? Like, yes, as a professional organization, we pay our artists. Pat the Dog does the same, right? And we need to ensure that if we're going to be talking about each other, we do so in a way that is not going to create microaggressions against each other without knowing.
That validates each other
you know what I mean?
As equals, as professional organizations.
And I, like our company, we have people on the stage who have done 10 seasons at Stratford, right? Next to people who have never been on stage before. And what this does is it creates an ecology. It creates a very unique ecology on stage. It creates a real community. And when you're looking at these people, I go, okay, this actor maybe can't sing the best or dance the best, but they have something. They have an energy that they're going to bring because it's the first time on stage that is going to lift this piece to something extraordinary, right? And it's not just a group of elite artists. It's a group of people working together to tell a story, right? And I would never say to any of my actors, you are not a professional. You are a professional. I am a trained professional who has worked in professional theaters across the country. I am creating this piece. You are here. You are with me, and we are working on this thing.
Mm-hmm. So it's not that you're not a professional; it's that you're just at a different level in your career.
And the whole definition of professional is just kind of bullshit to me. There's these old paradigms and these old rules in this industry that I go like, I don't care. Like, I don't like. Judas could be played by a woman, right? Because she's the best one who came in.
Watch me sell it out and do it again next year.
We could have an overweight person play Reno Sweeney. Like, we don't need to adhere to these stupid rules. Like, I want to see the world on stage, right? I don't want to see this weird version of what we want the world to be, because it's bullshit. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Heaven bless us, but
we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out shortly. So, especially in Billy Elliot, there was such a diverse amount of experience in the cast. So, how was it kind of watching some of the younger performers, like Billy, watching him interact with Jen, who played the teacher, who has so much experience. It just must have been such an experience for them to really get to learn from somebody that's so much more advanced.
Absolutely. I mean, watching Darshan work, and the other, the boy who played Michael Braden. These two kids and the rest of the young actors in the show were just tremendously brave, and frightened at the same time, right? Like, and it just was so overwhelming to see them like progress, you know? Never has a process felt so much like a process. Like, okay, here we are and we're at the right place we're at week 2 in rehearsal, and you know, we have a great run of the show, and I'm crying in the back being like, Janine, this is amazing, oh my god. And then we have a rehearsal the next day, I'm like, okay, whoa, we have a lot of work to do, wow, right? But these young people just like, and it's hard material. Billy was hard material, and these young artists just were working hard, man. They were committed, they were invested, they brought passionate ideas and made bold choices, and frankly, like, you know, inspired those people with a lot of experience, right? Yeah, it was just magical. Yeah.
So for anything really, I mean, any kind of endeavor to the scale of which you're trying to achieve, there must be a ton of people that you collaborate with.
Yes.
So can you talk to us a little bit about your collaborators who you work with?
Yes. Well,
how that keeps you going.
We've had a number of years with some incredible artists here in the city, and some people working with me on my creative team, people who I love dearly. And this year we had a bit of a change in some of those positions, and I brought on my dear friend Stefan Ermel to music direct the show, my designer Shannon Lee Doyle, who's been working with us for a couple seasons, and of course Shani. And I really feel like I've found a group of people who really speak the same language. Matteo De Simone is doing our sound now, and we had a live band also for the first time. So on this project, there was over 50 artists collaborating on Billy Elliot, like 50 artists. And that's just creative team, musicians, and actors, right? That is not like our front of house staff, all these things. But I really feel like Billy was a moment where everything, like the vision that I had, everything happened, you know? Everything came together. It was a perfect synchronization of like all the various positions, like jiving at the same wavelength. You know, I felt like for Janie and I, this was a very big step for us, because I think like we have been working on our form for many years, and this show really let us like do our thing, right? Using young actors, and it is a form. Like, yes, it's become a form, right? When I was talking about earlier, like looking at these individuals was like, okay, what are they weak at? What are they strong at? Rather than just like putting people into like, this is how a musical works, and like, ooh, if you're not really good at that part, like, it's gonna be awkward for you, right? We tailor the show based on our artists, and we try to use everyone's strong points, right? And showcase that. And whatever it is that they're weak at, we lean that on someone else's strength, right? So it is actually very strategic in how we plan and shape and kind of, you know, structure our execution of the piece. So collaboration is key, you know?
It's key always.
Collaboration is the most beautiful thing in the world to me. Collaboration and friendship, and when you have those two things working together, it's like blessings, you know?
You recently made an unexpected purchase in real estate.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a crazy story, so I would love to have you tell us about it.
Yeah, okay, so a dear friend of mine, Jeanette Lambert-Montgomery, who's a tremendous director, she taught me at George Brown, she recently purchased a home in Newfoundland, on the South Shore, in a very remote area of Newfoundland. And I went to visit her for a couple days with Jake, who's one of our actors and company members. We went down, and it was like the most peaceful 4 days of my life ever. You know, I just relaxed. Certainly since starting Yes, but I really don't remember my life much before that. But so I was there, and I said, hey, Jeanette, if anything ever comes up, like, let me know, because I would love to buy a home here. And they're like dirt cheap. We paid $8,000 for this home, okay? So she calls me. She's like, there's this house in the town over. It's 4 bedrooms. It's fully furnished, and it's on the ocean. And what do you think? And I was like, yes. So I started asking a bunch of friends, and my best friend Ashton Gobo was crazy enough to say yes, and we bought this place, and we went down for a week, and it was incredible. I never thought in my life that I would feel the sense of ownership that I felt. I never thought it was something I would experience. And not just the ownership over like the building, but just the experiences that we had, and the experiences we're going to have, and all the people who are going to come, and all the neighbors being so generous and open-hearted and vulnerable to us, and obviously the views. Like, you know, I wake up in the morning and it's like the ocean right out my window with this gorgeous sunrise.
No big deal.
No big deal. Like, and there's a wood stove, which I love cooking on, and I just cooked so much. We just cooked and drank, and it was like just beautiful. And now I have this thing, right? So I essentially want it to be open for artists and friends who want to go write or like go have retreats and things. And we're going to have a big Yes Theater retreat there in the spring. And I'm like, get ready, Boxy. Population is 75 and we're going to show up and do like this massive concert at the Legion and just like jam. And
Oh my God.
it's going to be dope.
Oh man, you better live stream that.
Oh, we will. That's a great idea.
A
We
live
will.
stream it. Record
Oh my God,
it.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, the best. Oh, Alessandro.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. We're going to play a little bit of music, and then we'll be going into our next segment, Creator
you.
Conversations.
And that was the end of our first segment of Creator Conversations. Up next, we have a little bit of music. Last week, Lauren Pileggi tagged Sean Cosmo as one of her favorite Sudburyans. So we figured this was a perfect opportunity to give a little bit of airtime to one of his projects, Dirty Princess, with a new track called Distant Views. After that, there'll be Shadows by Childish Gambino and Here's to the Fourth Time by Los Campesinos. Remember, you can always stream episodes online after the fact on SoundCloud. You can look up ourcreator.com, OURCRATER, and look out for our update after the fact. We'll always post our episodes later on in the week, so you can listen to them whenever you like, or if you miss an episode, you can always catch up. While you're on the site, you can check out a few of our other articles. One thing we're really excited about that we just had come out on Halloween is Our Creator Spends an Evening with Catherine Bell. This is where we took Psychic Chantel and to the Art Gallery of Sudbury, and we spent an evening to investigate the hauntings of the manor. We spoke with Catherine, and she had so much to say about her life in Sudbury. Another article we have on the roster right now is Ontarians You Should Know, and a roundup of some of the Halloween activities as well as some fall fashion trends, and Creator Conversations Episode 1 with Morgan McKee and Lauren Pileggi, where we talked all about their beginnings in burlesque and their interest and where they're going from here. And without any further ado, here are Dirty Princess, Childish Gambino, and Los Campesinos. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Creator Conversations. I bet you're expecting some music right now. Turns out copyright laws even apply to us. So check below in the description for all the links for the music that we would have played this episode, and you can always follow us on Spotify to keep up to date with our playlists.
We are back with our second segment of Creator Conversations with Alessandro Costantini on CKLU 96.7. This is our segment where we are going to pose a few of the Creator Conversations questions that you can find on cards that are going to be popping up around your favorite downtown locations to answer yourself as little conversation starters. But first, Alessandro, I want you to tell us about what's coming up next for Yes Theater.
So December 7th, 8th, and 9th, we have the inaugural Yes Theater Orchestra production of Beauty and the Beast. So this is a concert staging with a 19-piece orchestra and 26 actors of the tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast. So tickets are on sale now. It's going to be incredible. We have an incredible company of actors coming to do this show. I'm so stoked. Yeah.
For somebody that maybe hasn't seen a concert presentation, what kind of does this look like?
So, yeah, it's essentially like not 8 microphones across the front of the stage, the orchestra, and all the actors seated at chairs. We do the scenes, we do the songs, but there's minimal set, minimal costumes. It's about offering a very intimate experience with the music. So it's like a stripped down version of these musicals.
So it's more like a presentation of the music minus a lot of the theatricality.
Yeah, but it's still there. Like they're still acting and doing the scenes and telling the story, right? But it's letting the music be the spectacle. And put the music is the main plate rather than like something that supports the spectacle of the design or whatever, right?
And this is the second time you've done an in-concert presentation. You did
we did a co-production
a few years ago,
with
right?
the Sudbury Symphony Orchestra of Les Mis. Yeah, so this orchestra is an initiative for us to be able to offer these musicals in concert and give people a very intimate experience with these musicals, but also for us to just engage more artists, right? And more musicians specifically. Live music is like incredibly important to a theater production, and we're really happy to be able to offer that now moving forward.
Absolutely. And the other project you guys are working on coming up for your 10th year as well is the Ground Up Project.
Yeah.
To write an original piece about Northern Ontario.
Yeah, so we're commissioning a new musical. We're going to be collaborating with a lot of people here in the city. It's quite a massive undertaking. I'm just getting all the funds in place, writing grants like crazy. And the idea is to create a youth-driven narrative about the experiences and times of being here in Northern Ontario.
Other than Yes Theater, then, are there any other projects that you're working on that we'll keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I'm going to be assistant directing a musical called Fun Home for the Musical Stage Company and Mervish Productions in Toronto, and that's going to happen. That's happening in April.
In April.
Yeah.
And you just recently had a nomination for your work in Prom
Yes,
Queen.
yeah.
And we did write an article about that. You can find, if you look on our Creator, you look hard enough, you can find Alessandro's Creator Creatives article that we did shortly after the Prom Queen release.
Yeah.
But you were just nominated for an award, so can you tell us a little bit about Prom Queen?
Yeah, Prom Queen is the incredible true story of Mark Hall, who took the Catholic School Board to court over their refusal to allow him to bring his boyfriend to his prom when he was in grade 12. This happened in 2002, and it was a massive, human rights issue, and he ended up winning that case, and his story is just incredible, and they made it into this, Broadway-bound musical, and it's exceptional, and it was a great joy to work on, and I really hope that I'll get the chance to continue working on it in the future as it moves along.
So let's jump right into our Creator Conversations question.
Yes.
So these are pretty tough questions. You may or may not be able to answer them.
All right.
We'll see. Alessandro, who is your favorite Sudburian?
Colin Eady.
Tell us more. Why?
Colin Eady is the personification of everything I believe in. I think he is 100% compassionate, honest, totally himself, and he makes no apologies for that, and the love he shares with his beautiful wife Jess Crow is something that I aspire to deeply. I think both of them, they are my favorite Sudburian.
They're your favorite Sudbury power couple?
Yeah, the work they do, here in the community, and the people who love them, and their artistry, and their balance of work and play and life, and I'm constantly finding myself thanking the stars that I'm even part of their lives.
Yeah, they do so much great work with burlesque.
They're the best.
And
they're the best.
they work on so many other projects too, and how do you have the time?
No, they're just amazing. But yeah, Colin Eady, sorry Jess, you're amazing too. But Colin Eady and Jess Crow are my favorite Sudburians. And there's a bunch of others too. I love everyone, but yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you can play favorites, it's fine. What do you think, would you say is Sudbury's signature dish?
Oh, geez. Well, I love the chicken wings. I love the chicken wings, but maybe porchetta.
You have a real passion for Doghouse chicken wings.
I do. I love Doghouse chicken wings. Yeah, Sudbury's signature dish. Well, we're just so diverse. It's hard. We have so many options. I see the chicken wings up there. Townhouse Burgers for sure. Caruso Club. Obviously, my mom's the chef there. I love it there. Respect is Burning. It's a blessing. There's so much good stuff downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got we got a whole list of signatures.
Just come hungry to Sudbury.
Yeah, legit. I'm so hungry now. Maybe I'll go get wings after this for my birthday.
Where do you think is the best view in the city?
Okay, there's two. Well, there's three that I love. One is where the old J set was, overlooking, it's actually at Mr. Big and Tall, parked on the side of the building at Mr. Big and Tall, looking over into New Sudbury. I love it there. The other one,
I think you showed me that place actually. I went there once with you, and I've went back there since.
Yeah, no, it's I do a lot of brainstorming and inspiration happens there. The other is definitely in the parking lot of the Grotto, looking over downtown and seeing the train tracks and the STC and the water tower and things. And then my other favorite one is in the wintertime, in cold nights, going up to the Big Nickel and parking there and just seeing all the smoke coming from everyone's homes, all the chimneys and all the, all the exhaust or whatever it is. So yeah, those are my three favorite views. Yeah.
You're celebrating today your 25th birthday, so in your 25 years here in Sudbury, you've obviously seen a lot of things. So what do you think you hope you could see for future Sudbury in another 25 years?
Well, I'm immensely excited about Place des Arts and all the new infrastructure that's going to be happening in the entertainment industry, including the arena and all these things that are coming. And I just think I'm really grateful that I'm where I'm at in my life, at the age I'm at the time of the evolution of our city, because I think
you're old enough to be an active role in it, and have a voice in
you know
it.
what I mean, and that's really inspiring to me, and I'm looking forward to continuing to help and work with these organizations. And 25 years. I mean, it's my goal to make this the cultural center of Northern Ontario, and have people from all over our country coming here to take in like artistic works by Northern Ontario artists. So that's what I think, you know?
So we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, we'll see where we're
We'll
at.
catch up at your 50th birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to our next segment. This is our hot jam sandwich. So Alessandro, the way this one works is that in this instance, because we only have one guest, you are going to pick a song that is your hit of the week.
Okay.
I pick a song that is my hit of the week.
Sweet.
And then we'll also pick another song at random.
Okay.
Later on to put in the middle there or put at the end.
Okay.
So Alessandro, what is your hot jam at the moment?
Okay, my hot jam at the moment is this great R&B and soul group called Tank and the Bangas, and the tune is Boxes and Squares. Or also, so there's Boxes and Squares, and there's also a song called Roller Coasters, and they're both beautiful, and you must play them both.
Oh.
Yeah, so Tank and the Bangas, they're just incredible. I saw them on Tiny Desk, and like, they just blew my mind. The joy emulating from them was like, yeah, I just kind of cried the whole time, and it's amazing. Anyways, Tank and the Bangas, Boxes and Squares, and Roller Coasters.
Those are your hits.
Yeah.
Those are your hits.
What about you?
Oh, man. Okay, well, my music selection is sometimes quite limited. I feel like I repeat a lot of the same things over and over again.
Hit it.
But the one I'm going to pick this time is actually a band that I listened to with you for the first time. It was Walk the Moon.
Yes!
And I know.
Which song?
I know. My favorite song by them, though, is Aquaman.
Oh.
I love Aquaman.
Is it new?
It's off their second album.
Oh, okay, yes.
I love
I'm really mostly into their first.
I'm not going to play Hysteria. That's a little bit of a downer.
Remember when we listened to Hysteria?
I know, and you cried.
Yeah, we were just like in my room and we had a lava lamp on and stuff. That was really dope.
It was pretty moody.
Yeah, it was super moody. Yeah, well, that's a beautiful tune.
Yeah. So that's going to lead us into our hot jam sandwich. So we will. I'm sure we'll talk to you again, Alessandro.
Jess, thank you. You're such a blessing.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Creator Conversations. I bet you're expecting some music right now. Turns out copyright laws even apply to us. So check below in the description for all the links for the music that we would have played this episode, and you can always follow us on Spotify to keep up to date with our playlists. And that was the end of our second episode of Creator Conversations. Keep tuned in to CKLU 96.7 for lots more local community content. Coming up tomorrow morning, there is CKLU Morning starting at 8 o'clock. You can also join Soundjack at 12 o'clock as Baseline Jackie plays some of her favorite house beats. Remember to check out Our Creator on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat to keep up to date on what we're up to. And look us up on our website at ourcreator.com to catch up on past episodes and to see a previous episode from last week, our very first episode with Morgan McKee and Lauren Pileggi of Sudbury Burlesque. This is your host, Jess, from Our Creators, signing off for the night. See you next week.